Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. This is Todd with Industrial Comfort. So I'm back to making fishing lures again, and I thought I'd make another replica of the ballistic missile, which was a lure made famous in the 70s out in Martha's Vineyard, and I grew up using them to fish for bluefish and striped bass. Awesome lure. So I thought that not only would I replicate it, but I would do a remix using a 3D printer and resin. So what we're going to do today is use my daughter's 3D printer to print a honeycomb matrix like this that I'm going to immerse in resin, and then we'll go ahead and shape it, put the lure together, and put on a few top coats. So let's get moving to the 3D printer, and then we'll get started. Okay, I've taken some plywood and I've built a box that's essentially going to enclose what's going to be the body of this fishing lure. And what I've done with this plywood is coat it in some packing tape, which is going to allow us to pull the epoxy out a little bit more easily. What I've also done with the base is apply some double-sided tape just to aid with the adhesion. So I'm going to get everything lined up, and I'm going to stick this in place, and I'm going to use a glue gun just to get the seams here. I don't know if you can see that.
All right.
Got that done, and we'll remove the tape here, and we'll stick this one in place. Again, we're going to hit it with the glue gun. And then just for good measure, I'm going to hit the bottom here just to make sure that everything is sealed. Okay, I'm done mixing up the epoxy. So I'm going to put in some, I guess this is, what is this? Some whitish pearlescent pigment. Okay, because of the honeycombs, I'm actually going to pour the epoxy or the resin in first, and then we're going to layer in the honeycomb. Okay, we'll lower this in. And I don't necessarily care that it's not all the way to the top, because we're going to grind down a bunch of this anyway when we do the final shape. All right, we'll give this a day or two to set up. The resin's had time to cure. Unfortunately, it did not sort of come out as white as I had expected it, but I think it'll turn out okay. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that I always try to do kind of like a pinwheel to make these things a lot easier to disassemble after the resin cures. It's also worth noting that I did liberally spray this with some anti-stick spray for resin molds. I'm gonna have to use my my paint scraper just to break the seal here. And you'll notice that the resin is slightly there's a little depression here, some space, so I'm just going to remove some material with either a sander or a table saw, and then we'll start shaping. Now what I've done off camera is actually redo the entire process, and the reason I did that is that I wanted a solid portion up top so that we could show the eye a little bit better, and the original ballistic missiles all had sort of a colored top anyway. Now what I'll also say is that the pearlescent did not come out nearly as white as I expected it to. Now I'm going to remove this material so it'll look more like this. And as you can see, it's just not. I was hoping I'd have a lot more contrast here. So you can see here I've got a layer of epoxy that I'm going to remove with some sanding. And then once we get it down to size, we'll bring over to the lathe and we will drill a hole. As I mentioned, I removed a bunch of material to get a nice even surface here, which is also why it's not shiny anymore. Now, I've put into the chuck, I used my tailstock center to get everything centered appropriately, and I've got an 1/8 inch drill bit. This is a 6-inch drill bit that I'm going to use to core a hole through the length of this blank. Now, it's not going to be able to go all the way through, so I'll flip it over once I'm done and core from the other side to make sure that we get a hole all the way through. So I'm going to turn on the lathe, make sure I got the speed dialed down, and we'll start the hole. Okay, with the drilling now done, I'm going to take a through wire, which is what we've got here, and this is what we're going to use to assemble the lure. I'm just going to pass it through to make sure that the hole went all the way through. Yep, so we're good. Now it's worth noting, if you don't have a lathe, you can certainly use a drill press as long as your depth stop will allow you to get down the full 5.5 inches here. So I've got an old ballistic missile here, and what I'm going to do is put it over the top of this blank, and I'm going to line up the tail grommet with the nose grommet to make sure that everything is aligned, and I am going to trace it with an indelible marker. I'm just going to double check here to make sure everything is good. Get everything lined up. Okay, so just going to trace this down. And for the next step, I'm going to take this over to my bandsaw. And if you don't have a bandsaw, you can use a handsaw. I just find that this is going to be the easiest way. And I'm just going to cut around this to develop the rough shape. I did a decent amount of sanding and shaping off camera to get the general form that we're looking for here. So now it's time to assemble everything, and I will put links in the descriptions, as I mentioned earlier, showing you where to get this stuff. Now they have the ability to tag products, so I think you can actually just buy the stuff directly from the description. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is take the wire, and you'll notice on one end it's got a loop because the wire has been folded over. We are going to take the opposite end and feed it through the nose grommet. So we'll push this through, we'll pinch the end of the wire and feed the wire through the nose grommet, and then we'll feed that through the lure. Now it is worth noting that you will need to drill the end of the nose out a little bit to accommodate the larger size of the nose grommet. So we'll press this into place like that. And the next thing we're going to do is slide the tail grommet on. So I am not using a weight on this build. Now, resin tends to be fairly heavy, so I think I can get away without it. The other thing is, this stuff is really susceptible to cracking under the heat and duress of the drill bit. So I'm going to go without it here and hope that everything works out okay. For the next step, I am going to take a screwdriver. Now make sure that this is a Phillips head. Some people like to use a needle nose pliers. I find that it's a little bit better or easier for me to use a Phillips head. So we'll pull the wire till it's taut, and then we're going to bend it out at about 45 degrees. I'm then going to take this screwdriver and I'm going to center it over the tail grommet here, and I am going to bend the wire around the screwdriver until I make a loop. I'm then gonna clean it up a little bit with the pliers, as it is a little awkward. Just pinch it a little bit to give it a slightly rounder form. And once I do that, I am going to just twist the wire around 2 revolutions. Okay. Now I'm going to get a wire cutter and just clip that, and then we'll put the eye and the hook on. Okay, with everything cleaned up on this tail loop, I am going to put the eyes on, and then we're going to do one more step before we put the hook on. Just going to try to center that. All right, we'll do one on the other side, and then we are going to give this a final clear coat. You'll notice that it's kind of got a matte finish. Once we apply the clear coat, everything is going to shine right up. Now, before I put the hook on, I mentioned I'm going to clear coat the lure. Now, while I don't need to do it because this is a resin or a plastic lure, I really do want to give it a high gloss finish. Because of the sanding, it left a matte finish. I really don't want to go up to 12 to 15,000 grit. It would take too long. Now, this is so easy to apply. It's a product called Dry Lock, and it's actually a concrete sealer. It's water-based, and all you need to do is dip the lure in and let it dry. Now, it goes on a milky white, but it dries a high gloss, clear finish. Now, if this was wood, I would do it 2 to 3 times. It generally takes about an hour to dry or an hour between coats. Couldn't be easier. So we'll let this dry, and then we'll put the hook on. Okay, with everything now dry, it's time to put the hook on. Now, I'm choosing to use a single hook here, and I don't need a jump ring because it's the kind of hook that actually has an open loop. So you're going to need a big old pliers, and we're just going to crimp this. And I do mean you need a big old set of pliers because this steel is really strong. And there we go. This is how you make a 3D printed lure. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.